Welcome to episode 3. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about burnout and how some leaders and some members also often say that they are burnt out. Let's hear what Jim has to say about this very, very sacred word, burnout. Looks like we have a few questions on about people in the community which the leaders are asking.
Okay, sure.
It could be a good time to kind of answer that.
Yeah.
So here's one on burnout.
Okay.
How do I keep my members from being burnt out or lost in life, which also affects the spiritual aspect of their lives and my community as well?
Read the question again, please.
Right. It says, how do I keep my members from being burnt out or lost in life, but as that also affects the spiritual aspects of their life,
Yeah.
and the spiritual aspects of the community
group,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Boy, again, great question. I'd just like to make one comment about burnout.
Sure.
I think the word can be used in two different senses, and they're both valid, but there's a nuance that's important. One kind of a burnout, and I think we could say this, after a long retreat, you go, oh man, am I burnout?
Right.
What we mean is we're tired. We're just kind of tired. We gave it all. We're just kind of stressed. It's like, I need a nap and I need a vacation and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's how it's commonly used. There's a more technical sense of burnout, which is almost a kind of a, it's too strong of a word, but almost a kind of a breakdown, where there's almost kind of an emotional break in people. And that's a little more serious.
Right.
And they have found that the first burnout that we talk about, a little bit of rest, a little bit of fun, kind of lighten up, usually you come back. But this other burnout, the more classical, clinical sense of burnout, most people don't ever get back to where they were.
Sure.
They're here, they kind of break down, and they get back to here. That's it. So, in terms of the more clinical sense of burnout, ironically what they found is that people break down when they become disconnected from their vision.
Okay.
I heard a fascinating, can I?
Sure.
Okay. This was absolutely interesting. A business magazine that I was reading in the United States talking about classic burnout in corporations. They interviewed a lot of people, and here's what one man said. He said, he makes some kind of little gadget or something. He says, 30 years ago, we were working on these things in my parents' garage. We would stay up 3 nights in a row and eat cold pizza because we had to have 1,000 units to New York by the morning. He said we were zombies, we were drinking Coca-Cola, and we loved it. And he says, 30 years has passed. We are very, very successful. And he says, I sit in my corner office behind my oak table, and my secretary comes in, and I sign my name on papers.
Right.
That's all I do. And he said, suddenly it occurred to me, I no longer know why I'm doing this. And he says, we got money now. We've made it. He says, I would give anything if I could go back to my parents' garage, eat cold pizza, and stay up 3 nights in a row.
Right.
When you become disconnected from your vision, then everything goes off track.
Okay.
And so vision is an important part of preventing burnout at a clinical sense. The more common sense of burnout, exhaustion, etc., is basically a kind of a fatigue. I had a cousin recently. There's some exercises nowadays, exercise programs nowadays, where they want you to work to muscle failure.
That's right.
So you do push-ups until you can't do it. This program that my cousin was in, they went beyond muscle failure. She ended up in the hospital and almost died.
Oh dear.
And some of her muscles are damaged. They don't think will ever come back. So if we let fatigue go that far, then we actually cross into clinical burnout.
Right.
So this is a leader writing this, and they're concerned. I give them credit. One of the ways that we can help our team from burning out is do not waste their time.
Sure.
Don't tell people to be at a meeting at 7 o'clock and you saunter in at 7:45. They all gave up having dinner. They tore home from work to be there at 7. how can you walk into 45 minutes late? Don't have meetings just to have meetings. Is a meeting necessary? Is it really necessary? Could we accomplish the same thing by an internet chat or something? Can I send you an email, or do you have to really drive 20 minutes for me to ask you the same question? You as a leader have, I believe, a responsibility to maximize and to make everything as efficient and as productive as possible. And I see a lot of leaders who just say, well, it's time for a meeting. For what? Well, I don't know, we'll come up with something. Well, then why have a stupid meeting? You know, and I have to say, in all due respect, I think sometimes leaders, they want, we're going to do this and I want everybody here. But everybody can't be here every night for 8 hours a night. Right now we're in the midst of our little rally. Okay, so we're all pushing hard for 3 or 4 days, but we're not doing this for the next 4 weeks.
Nah.
So when this is over, we all got to go home and kind of take a breath and answer our mail and, kind of take care of things. So I would really urge leaders to be extremely prudent. How much time am I asking of my people?
Right.
In fact, I offer advice nowadays when people say, I have been asked to join a group. I say to that person, you get a commitment of what they're asking of you. Because we've all been at the play, you join a group. Oh, I'm going to need you here next Tuesday, next Thursday. You think, I didn't know I was signed up for that.
Sure.
So a leader has to be clear. You have to respect the life and the time of your people. Also, I think, in a sense, you're their leader of a prayer group. You don't own them.
That's right.
So you can't control if they're still doing other things. But I think you can take people aside and say, look, as a friend, you're here with us for 2 nights a week, and I know you're involved in this and this and this and this. It sounds like you're gone quite a bit. As a friend, I don't have any authority over you. As a friend, I'm going to ask you to look at that. Mm-hmm. Do you really think that's how God wants you to live your life?
Right.
And then I think we have to keep urging people the priorities of their own family. For example, last night, I think you're with me, we were praying with a brother whose dad was in the hospital.
That's right.
And after we prayed, I specifically said to him, do you think, would you rather not be here tonight so you could be with your dad? I think we have to keep signaling to people that they're not our clones to run our little programs. Mm-hmm. They're human beings with families and responsibilities and daytime jobs, and a good leader understands that and respects that and doesn't just kind of suck them dry for my program.
That's right.
So I think those are key things that we could do to help them address their fatigue and burnout issues.
Right. Sounds like there's a lot of management that we can help them with and help ourselves with. Because if we help ourselves, our own management, they will see that model as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I would have to say when it comes to ministry, I know this sounds funny, but I would say that the adage, less is more, really applies here. Don't just do stupid things to do stupid things.
Right.
Is this productive? Is this, as much as we discern, is it really part of God's vision? Or are we just kind of wasting time?
Right.
If we're wasting time, let me go home and go bowling or go out for dinner. Don't just go to meetings, go to meetings.
Sure, or go for a nap.
Yeah, don't make meetings, don't start meetings at 7 and go to 11:30.
That's right.
Don't do that.
So we hope that you have enjoyed what Jim has to say about burnout. And burnout that is actually deep, can actually cause something that we can see in episode 4, criticism. So watch out for episode 4, criticism.